The clock is ticking. The time is now to find those last-second winners. This is Countdown to Payout, powered by Mall Chevy.
NFL Week 13 is here, and as the games continue to fade off the calendar, the stakes only get more and more clear. Division titles, wild cards, playoff seeding, and of course, the most important element, the home field advantage. And that's exactly where my mind goes for today's NFC Championship game rematch between the Niners and the Eagles. And it is a sloppy, nasty day here in the Delaware Valley. Good
football
morning.
Weather, Brace.
Man,
not sloppy, not anything. Not your. It's good football weather.
That's
good
home.
December playoff football weather.
Stay on the couch.
Look at that. We're seeing views of the link right now. Oh, it is pouring out there.
Offered another ticket last night, and I said no.
No way. 2 straight games, though, against really good teams in Philly, and 2 straight days of pouring rain. That does sting.
Yeah.
Or 2 straight games of pouring rain.
I'm not.
That stings.
Not going to that one, so I will be enjoying from the comfort of my own home again today. And shout out to all the Eagles fans that will be down there, though, because you guys deserve a ton of credit. Unlike myself, I will be, as I said, nice and warm and cozied up on the couch. Of course, we got the
Probably
Niners.
asleep by 3, I would say.
Yeah, maybe.
Little nap.
Yeah, little nap. Right around halftime, somewhere around there. Niners and Eagles talk.
What is the best time to take a nap on an NFL Sunday? If you had to fit one in.
5 o'clock.
I would say, that's what I would say.
Second quarter.
Like right at the start. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Second quarter of because it's 4 o'clock. It's only 3 games usually.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could take a quick nap and then you'll wake up middle of third quarter and you get good football.
Yeah. Most of the time you're not worrying about the 4 o'clock kicks,
no.
Except for today, because that's where the birds are. We got 7 in the first window, 3 in the second. And we got a game tonight between the Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs. Sunday Night Football. First time for Patrick Mahomes getting a start at Lambeau, so that's pretty cool there. Of course, Green Bay's been playing a lot better. And, of course, Monday night, we close up shop with Jacksonville and Cincinnati. The first game that we're going to target here is the one right in our backyard, and that's the 49ers and Eagles. And 49ers, we all remember, they left January 29th with a extremely bitter taste in their mouth as they lost 31-7, absolutely got beat down. Brock Purdy got hurt, and that was all she wrote. But here we are today. DraftKings Sportsbook showing that the Eagles at 10-1 are catching 3 points at home. It's a 3-point spread. They're 3-point dogs. And for the 7th time in the Super Bowl era, the Philadelphia Eagles are a team that was 10-plus wins and 1 or fewer losses and will be a home underdog. So it's only happened. This is the 7th time in NFL history, in the Super Bowl era, excuse me. So doesn't happen all that much, but here we are today, and we're going to open up with that. We got a lot to get to. We got some decent games today on the card. We got a big college football revealing coming up at noon, which is going to take over the timeline. So let's attack right here, right now. Let's get people started with the right way to look at today's card. Opening it up, DraftKings Sportsbook. As I said, be sure to use Brace as a promo code. Oh, my bad, folks. This is presented by Mall Chevy. Come on, Brace. Yeah, don't forget the damn name of the sponsor.
Wake up, Brace.
Mall Chevy, presented by Mall Chevy. Check those guys and girls out at mallchevy.com. Sean Bernard just scooped up a new vehicle for the holiday season. Shout out to Sean. He went to Mall Chevy, saw Dante and company, and that was all she wrote. They didn't need to go anywhere else, and it wasn't anything along the lines of like, we'll work with you as far as a sponsorship. No. He went in there as just a client or as a customer, went in there. Next thing you know, he's leaving with a vehicle because Mall Chevy is the best place to go purchase a vehicle. They are found over there in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. All details, once again, at mallchevy.com. All right, so Eagles and Niners. We've talked about this game relentlessly all throughout the course of the week. Everybody has. And as we're sitting here, right now, the big theme for me, and this is the total NFL Week 13, and it's somewhat comparable to college football because what we're talking about with, hey, teams what they did in the beginning of the season, week 2 specifically in that matchup versus what they look like now. That's where my mind is going, right? When I look at this card today, and I know I'm kind of a little all over the place with these games, but follow me on this. Like the Detroit Lions have not been playing good defense the last 3 weeks.
You're right.
They have.
Yep.
So here we are. That's a good football team with a really good record, a team that could compete for, some are saying the overall number 1 seed. Who knows? The sky would have to absolutely fall. But they're in that conversation. But are they? Because of what they've looked like recently, right? And these two teams, between the Eagles and the 49ers, I think the Eagles haven't shown any wrinkles, right? Anything different from week 1. They're still the same football team. What's the big difference between this Eagles team now and let's say 5 weeks ago? Today, specifically, the injuries on the defensive side of the ball that start with Fletcher Cox, that's the biggest one for me. That's a huge difference. But other than that, what are we talking about with both these teams? I feel like the 49ers went through a little bit of a tough stretch, but in the last 2 to 3 weeks, they've looked great. And the Eagles haven't looked any different in the last 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, all season long. So where are we at with this game in your mind?
Well, it's just nothing is different. Look, I could say some things like maybe the passing game hasn't been particularly sharp for the Eagles, and their offense in general hasn't been sharp, but yet they score 37 points against Buffalo, and they're winning a bunch of games. It's going to be so difficult because the Eagles are playing so many great teams in a row that the only thing I could see, it's not different, but it's just the 49ers are fresh. 49ers didn't play, or the last game that they played was the 23rd against Seattle. They won that game 31-13. Their last 3 games, though, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Seattle, the only team that's actually good there is Jacksonville. So the last 2 games, really nothing that difficult. They're fresh. You mentioned it with the injuries with the Eagles, and that has a factor here for me.
Absolutely.
That's why to me, it's one thing. The Eagles haven't been sharp. So I think a lot of money is pouring in on San Francisco because of that. But it's just the spot. Bettors like spots. And this spot for San Francisco does seem very good.
Does weather do anything, change anything? It has to. It's got to in somewhat because of what we just saw. For me, it makes me feel a little bit better from the Eagles' perspective.
I don't know. I mean, it can.
Because
maybe
they were
Brock
able to make
Purdy will have a
plays
tougher
last year.
time. Because Josh Allen, it doesn't matter. Because Josh Allen has a rocket arm. So it doesn't matter in conditions like this.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe for Purdy, it gets a little bit more difficult. But
That's a good call.
The problem is, it's just San Francisco is a great running team. And San Francisco can, get at you in multiple different ways. It's not just Brock Purdy throwing the ball. It's that he doesn't have to throw often in a bunch of traffic. They can give him easy throws, give him quick, short throws. And that offense is still one of the most effective offenses in the NFL because of Kyle Shanahan. So it's just so good. The word to me actually isn't Brock Purdy at all. It isn't Kyle Shanahan and his scheme and all that stuff. It's just Christian McCaffrey, and I don't know if the Eagles have an answer to that. So the weather might have an effect, but I don't know if it's as much as an effect as it would be in some other game.
2 top 5 scoring offenses, both of them locked in, tied, 28.2.
It's a lot of points.
As far as scoring per game between these two teams, the Eagles and the 49ers. Dolphins at 30.8. Do you know who leads the league in scoring per game?
Man, that 70 points against Denver is really carrying the Dolphins.
Do you know who leads the league in scoring points per game?
Points per game. Buffalo?
Incorrect. They're 5th.
Oh, man.
Don't look.
No, I'm looking at teams. Baltimore?
Incorrect.
No. It wouldn't be Baltimore. I don't know.
Keep going.
It's not the Chiefs.
0 for 3.
It's not Detroit?
0 for 4.
Oh, boy. I stink.
It surprised me. That's why I'm throwing
it. Didn't really surprise. Cowboys.
There you go.
Oh, I'm an idiot. It's
Cowboys lead the league in scoring, 32.3. Of course, they've thrown up a ton of touchdowns, and that's a team that, if we're going to be honest with our evaluation,
yes, Dak Prescott's good.
Have looked. I don't think anybody's ever said he's not. It's just
this offseason.
Come on,
this offseason. No, you're right for the most part. This offseason, though, yeah, he got a lot because he threw all those picks.
He always does. That's my point. If he doesn't turn the football over, he's a different quarterback, and he didn't do that 2 years ago. He's a top 5 quarterback. Last year.
So you get it.
Yeah.
You know ball.
Yeah.
Not many people know ball like you, though.
That's never been said before. All right. Again, 49ers. And
what do you mean? You're a ball knower.
Well, I do know a few balls around there. What? Baseball, football, basketball. soccer.
Pause.
Come on, man.
You can't do that.
Anyways,
You can't turn it into
the
that.
injury for me is like it comes down to Fletcher Cox, and I get that Fletcher Cox wasn't the guy from 5 seasons ago, but you know what he brings to the table. And against this team with that running attack, oh, by the way, they're fresh off a rest from having the bye week last week. To me, that's I'm highlighting that number one. That's going to be an issue. Jordan Davis did practice, limited, but still he came up, tweaking, and I think it was his knee from that far run against Buffalo.
And it's a good thing they have depth because, they do have Jordan Davis.
They're going to need
Jalen Carter. But that's the thing. They're going to need every bit of that depth.
Zach Cunningham.
So it does hurt to have Cox potentially out.
At linebacker position, he's dealing a hamstring. So now you're going to have Ellis in there, which he played well. But what are you really asking for?
I know, but
third string?
Well, in that game. But this 49ers are going to stress your linebackers and your defensive line.
Correct.
They are going to stress them in ways that they've never been stressed before.
We often joke about the script. What does the script say for this game, right? And for my money, I think we're going to see the ball in the air a lot. Like regardless of that weather, and I think last week showed you a little, hey man, you can't pay attention just because it's raining. Look at what it did as far as the total is concerned last week against Buffalo. I still feel like it's going to be the same way here. We're going to see a lot of points from the Eagles' perspective. They're going to have to put the ball in the air. Now, it's easier said than done, but I think if you could just give Jalen Hurts some time, or if he can roll out of the pocket and create some time, I think the secondary can get got. But from the front, the defensive front for the 49ers, when they added Chase Young and they just continue to change things up and try new things, it's incredible. That is a ferocious defensive unit for the 49ers. And
and the first game, I know they feasted on a really bad Jacksonville offensive line, but still that was completely dominated by defensive line. Chase Young and Nick Bosa allowed Trevor Lawrence and that offense to do nothing. So it's dangerous. And I know the Eagles have 2 of the best tackles in the league. We all know Lane Johnson does not give up many sacks, does not give up many pressures. He's so good. But in my mind, though, I feel like we have seen the last couple of weeks the offensive line at least start out slow. They had a bad first half against Kansas City. They had a bad first couple of drives against Buffalo. If they start off bad and it takes a while for them to really start giving Jalen Hurts time and to make sure that he has a clean pocket, it could get a little bit ugly early. I'm not saying the game would get ugly or turn out to be that way, but that if you have any lapses at all with your offensive line at any point in this game, they will punish you big time for that. So that's scary. That's absolutely scary. And I know the Eagles offensive line, we always chalk that up, advantage Eagles. And I think it is. I still think the offensive line's very good and is capable of stopping that defensive line. But that defensive line's very good. And they are going to win some reps. Absolutely win some reps.
We do have some movement in that line. Just went from 47.5 down to 47 as far as the total is concerned. So I would imagine some people are getting down to the parking lot, probably placing some wagers. And next thing you know, it's the under's going to start taking on some money here. So that meaning you might be able to go ahead and fire on the over. Just wait a little bit and get a better number on that one. For money line plus 130 for the Eagles, a lot of people are saying, I don't need the points. I'm going to go with the money line. What do you say to that?
I am going to take as many points as I can get. I really will. Money's coming in on them for a reason. This is a bad spot, I think, for the Eagles. They've played. This is and I posted this number before. I posted the graph. So since week 5, the Eagles have played, or since week 5, if you check out the EPA per play numbers, the Eagles are playing 4 of the top 7 quarterbacks since week 5. In terms of EPA per play. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, who's number 1, and number 2 is Brock Purdy, who they're about to play. That is a gauntlet of quarterbacks. That's a lot of stress on their defense. Their defense is banged up. I'd like to say, I still think the Eagles can win this game.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And that's why I would think, I'm not going to bet the Eagles, even though I think that 3 is a good number to bet the Eagles on. But still, I in that circumstance, for this game, I am taking as many points as I can get. I don't know if I want to take the chance on that money line.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I would take the over 47 before anything. That's really where my mind is on this game. I just think we see a lot of points, and then definitely from the 49ers perspective, team total. Again, I'm not sitting here telling you that the Eagles won't win this game. I just think this is
tough, and it's really not the end of the world if they lose it.
Correct.
I do, though, and that's the tough. To make things easy for the Eagles, they have to win at least one of these next 2. between San Francisco or Dallas. The Dallas one may be the harder game. This one's the harder spot because Dallas at home, obviously, is really good, and the Eagles have had a tough time in Dallas. Obviously, they can win that game. But this feels like the better chance to win a game, and it's a really tough spot just because of the schedule. So, that gauntlet, they've gotten through it very well, and they've won a bunch of games, but Dallas still is on their heels, and that's the tough part of it, is Dallas is playing really good football. Now they're about to come into a tough stretch, though, so they could maybe drop a game or two, but it makes things a lot easier if you win one of these next two, just to get the number 1 seed.
Last week, Jalen Hurts threw for 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 18 of 31, ran the football, 14 carries, 65 yards for 2 touchdowns. He's now 3 straight years in double digits rushing touchdowns. So when we start talking about the prop standpoint, do you start and end with an anytime touchdown Jalen Hurts?
Oh, I thought you meant anytime touchdown Christian McCaffrey. Yes, both lock those both in. Brace.
McCaffrey's minus 220.
I know.
I want nothing to do with that.
That goes up every week.
Yeah, I'm good on 220. I'll pass on that.
Oh, come on.
Jalen Hurts.
It's automatic.
Jalen Hurts is just as automatic as Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, bet them both.
Yeah, minus 110 for
parlay them together. Same game parlay. Christian McCaffrey anytime. Jalen Hurts anytime. Have fun. Go Birds.
That number on.
But you're right about Jay. It's just they have the most automatic play, which is Roger Goodell trying to ban that. Did I read that?
What?
That he's trying to ban the tush push.
Is that a sarcasm?
No, I thought I read something that he was trying to ban it.
Oh, that's
probably like Diana Rossini or something.
Yeah, I mean, look, he speaks on behalf of the owners, and there's only one owner that really would stand up for it, right? Because his team runs it the best. Again, I just don't know what change you're going to implement to ban the quarterback sneak.
Well, because if you ban that, you're also banning because it changes the whole rule. And I think we talked about that before, where you can't push anybody, not just on the goal line or for a tush push,
but
ahead, if a running back is getting tackled, you can't push somebody in.
Which was the way it used to be. You could not do that.
Yes, it used to be that way.
It used to be a penalty, but then all of a sudden,
remember that was a big stink in college football too. Reggie Bush did it. Matt Leinart, I think, or Matt Leinart, somebody pushed Reggie Bush in, or Matt Leinart did.
It was the Bush
against
push. There you go. All right, yeah, let's keep it moving. Anything else from this game? Look, I'm all on AJ Brown. I was on the Seth Joyner show. He was one of my plays. He's my wide receiver 2 play. A little expensive. We got Roy Burton joining us at his normal spot at 11 o'clock. Talk all things DFS and fantasy. He's probably like the 3rd or 4th wide receiver as far as salary cap is concerned. Understood. Devonta a little bit better of a value, but I just, it's a flip of a coin a lot between these two. Lately. I just think AJ's that guy. I think AJ's going to eat in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know what the changes have been with Dallas Goedert out, and I don't know if there should be a correlation here to look into. But since Dallas Goedert has been out, Devontae Smith has done better. Like Devontae Smith, it feels like maybe they're keying on AJ Brown more with Dallas Goedert out.
Could be.
And they're able to. And
or
Devontae Smith,
the inside of the field's open a little bit more for Devontae without Dallas. You're right, though. Dallas is a huge deal, and I don't expect him to be playing. I didn't see anything.
I think they need him in this game. It's a shame he's not playing.
Has he been ruled out?
He's doubtful, yeah.
Yeah, he was doubtful.
Downgraded.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be able to go after Friday. After the show Friday, I think something popped up on my timeline. I'm like, all right, no Dallas Goedert, and that's understood. He's a big loss, but they've been able to play without him in the last couple of weeks. So they're getting, a little acclimated to each other where they need to be. Bringing him back into the mix is definitely a huge step up. But on the defensive side of the ball without Fletcher Cox, I think that is a bigger loss today, especially going up against the 49ers and what we know they do very well. All right, let's keep it moving as far as that is concerned. AJ Brown, though, real quick, 74.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm all about that. It's juiced up at minus 125 for anytime touchdown scores. I also think AJ is going to get into the end zone. He's at plus 140, so give me some of that.
And Chris McCaffrey.
Anything from the 49ers perspective? Is this a Kittle game? Is this a Debo Samuel game? Is this a Brandon Ayuk for you?
I was going to say more Brandon Ayuk because he's their better receiver. Debo Samuel's the better player.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can make that distinction. Brandon Ayuk's the better receiver, and we know the Eagles have kind of given up a lot of big plays in the passing game. So I think they're going to have success in ways that Buffalo did and Kansas City did if those guys didn't drop all the passes. But yeah, I think Ayuk's the one to target more.
All right. Yeah, that's again, I'm just more from the standpoint of short passes, getting McCaffrey going, getting the run game going. Debo is probably the guy that I'm looking at, especially, him running his yap, really wanting to
That never works, though.
make a name for himself here. And I don't even think the rah-rah is too much. I just think he's going to get a steady workload because of the linebacker issues that the Eagles are dealing with. And, of course, the rain, they're going to try and keep the ball on the ground as much as possible, and that's what they do well. So why not Debo Samuel in this spot? It wasn't all that expensive.
If it's going to be tough for them to pass, that's the way they get Debo involved, is in other ways, the running game and things like that. So they'll do a lot of, I just say gadget stuff, because I don't think that's appropriate to say for a player like Debo. It's just that they can move him around in so many different spots and give a defense so many different looks with him. That's what's amazing about San Francisco's offense. Like, we saw it last year, and it was just amazing to see it when it first happened and to see it in action. Like, they were running, I remember it was a 3rd and 1 play, it might have been. They were in an I formation and lined out wide I think it was, who was it? Jimmy Garoppolo? Brock Purdy last year. Lined up to his right was Christian McCaffrey. And behind him, the running back in the I formation was Debo Samuel. Like, they can move those two around in so many different ways. And of course, the play, I think, resulted in a slant pass to Christian McCaffrey. But that's what's so hard and difficult about the 49ers, and why a rain game, it just doesn't matter as much to me with the 49ers, because they just have so many different looks and so many different things they can do. It doesn't just have to be, deep passes or, up the middle or anything like that. They can just show you so many different looks, and it's really the eye candy that makes that offense so good.
All right, to running backs, DeAndre Swift, 53.5. Remember, he didn't touch the rock in the first half last week. You would like to believe that won't be the case today, but unfortunately, running the football against this 49er team. Am I giving this team too much credit?
No, you're not.
I just think DeAndre Swift, he was one of my fades. I think there's better value out there. And like I said, I think the Eagles can win this game, but it's going to come in the air. To run the football against this 49ers front, good luck. So Swift, 53.5. I'm not saying under, but I'm definitely not on the over.
Yeah, and San Francisco already went through their bad stretch of football. They lost 3 straight. So went through that. They came back better from it, and I think they're playing their best football right now. So it's tough. It's going to be a very difficult game.
All right, anybody scoring 2 touchdowns in this game?
Christian McCaffrey.
Could be.
I know you're not going to bet that. That's going to be a number that's not.
It's plus 245.
It's not bad.
Yeah, there's worse bets out there.
Gosh, Jalen at plus 550 too. Because, if there's pressure, or if they're trying to, one of the ways that they try and eliminate pass rush is the QB draw. That's their counter. Their counter to like these zero blitzes or blitz packages that teams bring them, and even just pressure in general. Like the Kansas City game. Kansas City wasn't really blitzing all that much. It was more like simulated pressure than anything. Yet they still ran the QB draw just because they were getting burned all the time. And they needed the edge rushers, and they needed to really give Chris Jones something to think about. So I think the QB draw, it's definitely going to be a big part of the game plan again today. So plus 550 for Hurts, 2 or more touchdowns. That could be a good one.
All right, let's keep it moving then. We'll come back to that game. Of course, Roy's going to join us. Roy Burton. We'll talk about things, fantasy football and birds coming up at 11 o'clock. We will get into the college football conversation coming up here in the next hour as well. Ratings or rankings will be released at noon, so therefore we'll know who's in the Final Four. You'll get our take coming up in the next hour, but let's keep it moving here. NFL Week 13, Countdown to Payout, presented by Mall Chevy, Sean Brace, John Jansen. Next game up that definitely has a lot of attention. The Denver Broncos, who are riding a 5-game win streak, albeit 4 of them came at home against lackluster opponents, which they really didn't put away.
A win is a win, Sean
Brace. A win. Yeah, well, there's definitely a difference by doing it at home and then doing it on the road. And that's where this is being played today. It's at Houston. Now, this is a really interesting spot from the Houston Texans, because I think there's a lot of people out there, even though they're 3-point favorites, that are believing, hey, this is a game that C.J. Stroud will be that rookie-type quarterback. He's going to give you that performance.
Right, coming off an emotional loss. AFC South was in the balance in that game, and they lost it. So, yeah, big emotional division game the week before.
I'm not getting that vibe, though, from
not either.
C.J. Stroud. I think he's as calm and cool as it gets.
I'm not getting it from Houston overall, too. Not just C.J. I think you're right about C.J. specifically.
Yeah.
But Houston overall, D'Amico's done an excellent job. Great coach. Yep. I think they'll be well prepared. And I don't know about you. I have not liked anything I've seen from Denver. Like, great. Russ is playing a little bit better.
Sutton's
maybe a little bit safer.
Other than that, no.
Some weapons, but I don't think it's like a drastic difference from last year.
No, you're right. Definitely Russell's played better. We got to admit that.
But it's not like Russ is. Mina Kimes had the greatest way to put it. She said, Russ isn't cooking, Russ is snacking. Like, it's just little bits. There's some times for him to flash. I thought it was really good.
Mina Kimes.
I thought it was really good. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that's really good. But yeah, that's what he's doing. It's not down the field.
I think I heard someone have a better Russ take than that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, yeah, I think somebody said something along the lines of like he's cooking in the microwave.
You just hate Mina Kimes? Cooking in the microwave.
No.
I don't even like that one. Maybe like he's just getting a Subway sandwich.
Yeah, something like that.
Not really cooking all that much.
Can he win this game? He's a 3-point dog on the road. Why are the Houston
behind the Subway counter making a sandwich?
Why are the Houston Texans 3-point favorites in this one? Is that right? Is that correct?
I think that's right. Well, because of all the things we're mentioning too. And Houston, very good. Have been great this season. But it's I think more of the things we mentioned. Denver really hasn't beaten anybody. Denver's record is better, but I think everybody can also see what we're seeing. Denver's not necessarily playing great.
Yeah.
They've not been phenomenal. So yeah, I think 3 is an appropriate number.
All right. Yeah, that's the one that definitely has my attention. I'm looking forward to just kicking back and catching this game more than others.
Yeah, I'm checking out the splits, though. It is kind of interesting. You're right. It's not a lot. It's not a big discrepancy, but the splits are saying Denver's getting more of the handle and the bets.
Now, the Texans are getting a starting linebacker back, which is a huge deal. He was out for a 2-game suspension. Remember, Perryman, I believe was his name, and he ended up hitting that one Minnesota Viking player across the middle, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what it was. He ended up catching a 2-game suspension, so he's back. So that's a big deal for their defense. Again, nothing from the Broncos' perspective on offense worries me. Defense, they're good, and they've been coming up with a ton of turnovers. Really, that's been aiding them in this 5-game win streak. Some people are saying that it's a fugazi 5-game win streak. I wouldn't go that far. I just think that they found ways to win football games. And I know that Houston's played really well, but this is another spot. Like the Houston Texans at their peak is not what they are right now. So as they come back down a little bit, can we expect a bounce back, or is this a spot that, you know what, they stay stagnant? It's a team led by a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach. I know D'Amico's been in the league
rookie
forever.
Head coach, though, you're right.
Like expectations from a ton of players that we have never heard of up until this year, like Tank Dell.
And Tank's dealing with an injury. I think he's going to play, but he's dealing with an injury.
Yeah, we've known Singletary with the Buffalo Bills, but he didn't do much with the Bills, and he's really come on strong. And I know they got Pierce back into the equation, but Singletary will be that guy. Offensive line been playing well, but this is on CJ Stroud's shoulders. That's how they've won, and I expect them to do the same here. Denver, though, defensively, they've been playing better. So is this going to be a good matchup where possibly we should look at the under at 47.5, maybe a lower scoring game here?
I don't hate that. Because, I think, look, Houston's going to have a bit of a hangover from the game last week. Denver on the road. And again, I don't think that offense is great. I think you're on to something there with the under 47.5.
You might have to play that, even though it is indoors.
And that's not even take away all the defensive numbers, whatever you want to, with both defenses. Because I don't think both defenses are very good. Especially Denver's been getting better, though. I will say that. Denver's been getting better. But it's still not great defenses, but you can throw that away. It's more about, you're right. I think it's more about the offenses, and the spot for each offense doesn't seem great.
All right, one more before we go to break here. Chargers and Patriots. Bailey Zappe's starting for the Patriots. Any shot that this is a good football game?
No. I got nothing. I don't have a bet. I don't have a lean. I don't have thoughts. I don't have analysis. I got nothing.
There's one.
I got nothing.
There's one team that I think averages 29 points per game, and the other one, no, I don't think they're that high because we just went over it.
Yeah.
They are. They're 24.5 per game, and then the Patriots average 13.5 points per game. So that's why I'm that stat right there alone is why I'm taking the Patriots.
You're taking the Patriots.
It's the Chargers. Excuse me. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's breaking news.
That's it. One team scores a ton, the other one doesn't. I'm taking the Chargers.
I just can't do it. I hate what I've seen from the offense. And I don't know what to really point out with the offense, what it is.
3-game losing streak. That's what it is. They got to find a way to win a football game. And I think they do that here on the road at New England. I think there's a couple games that are like that, where we don't need to overthink it. And there's been a few times throughout the course of this season that it's played out like that. So don't sit here and believe that you need to be the sharpest guy out there and the odds are telling me this. And no, We got bad football teams led by terrible quarterbacks and coaches that will probably be on their way out. And there's 4 games on the card today that I think are extremely easy. And I don't ever really say that, to be honest with you. So today, that is one of them. I just love the Chargers in this one. I do. I don't think I've said that all year long about the Chargers. This is a game that they got to win. Unless it's going to be pouring up there in New England. And next thing you know, it's going to be a 15 to 12 game. Could very well be. But if this game is somewhat clean, I like the Chargers to go ahead and score 20, 25 points, and the Patriots won't get there. They won't sniff 20. It's just the way it's been. All right, let's keep it moving. Other side, we'll continue to go over the 1 p.m. kicks as we have 7 in that window, 3 in the 4 p.m. window, including the Eagles and Niners. We got a lot coming your way. Roy Burton at 11.
Roy.
We'll hit all things college football. Again, there's some.
That's all I think about right now. I cannot get out of my mind who is going to be the top 4. That's all I'm thinking about. That's occupying all the space in my brain.
Florida State now back up to plus 260 on the no. So this was 250 when I woke up, dropped down to plus 220, now up to plus 260. So money coming in on Florida State making the playoff. I am not one of those guys. John Jansen, are you one of those guys?
The committee's going to do the right thing. SEC championship wins matter more than ACC championship wins. Third string quarterback isn't better than Jalen Milroe, who's one of the best in the league. Alabama has the best win all season long. They're getting it.
Plus 260 on the no. Florida State. Sounds like you would play that.
Yes. I don't think they're getting it. It's Texas. It's going to be Alabama 4, Texas 3, Washington 2, Michigan 1. Let's have a fun playoff.
It's what I have. We'll find out if the committee sees it like us coming up at noon. Don't go anywhere. Countdown to Payout, presented by Mall Chevy. Back after this.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's the Gambler.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently, there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy. But more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Sit back and relax as you listen to the sounds of your carpet. Okay, your carpet doesn't actually make any sounds, at least not until you drop something on it, like a dreaded wine spill. But don't worry, if your carpet is life-proof with pet-proof technology, it can stand up to life's toughest stains. It also stands up to pets. It can even stand up to a third grader's birthday party. Life-proof with pet-proof technology, available only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. When you switch to Boost, get an iPhone 11 for only $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. You'll get amazing service too, because only Boost switches between the top networks to give you the best service. So stop by a Boost Mobile store and give the gift of Boost. That's an iPhone 11 for $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. Get yours at a Boost Mobile store today. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers and in-store only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
The free iHeartRadio app is your home for the holidays. Open the app and click on the holiday banner or search iHeart Holiday and start listening to your local holiday station. Plus stations playing all kinds of holiday music, Christmas classics, Christmas jazz, country, R&B, tons of playlists, even podcasts. Yay! Our gift to you, the perfect holiday soundtrack. Join the millions of listeners on the iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
The only song sanctioned for running upstairs is Gonna Fly Now. Bill Conti's theme from 1976's Rocky fits perfectly on today's workout playlists.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
The Daily Ticket with Sean Brace on the drive home and the line change with John Jansen at 9. This is The Gambler.
For contest rules and information, go to foxphlgambler.com.
A holiday message from Jackson Hewitt.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to get money the same day.
Starting December 11th, walk into a Jackson Hewitt for an early loan on your tax refund, and you could walk out with up to $1,000.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to get money. Missing out would be great.
Appointments go fast. Book yours now at jacksonhewitt.com. Early refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Finance charge applies. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor. While others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
CEOs You Should Know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Corinne O'Connell. I'm the CEO of Habitat for Humanity Philadelphia. We build and repair homes in partnership with families in need. And it's grounded in this audacious vision of a city and a world where everyone has a decent place to live. We work alongside families, low income, first-time home buyers. Families buy their homes. It is a low-interest mortgage. And the whole purpose there, right, is that it's affordable and that families can start to build equity. So between the 265 new homes we've built and the 850 plus homes we've repaired, right, we're north of 1,000 homes that we've worked to make safe, warm, and dry. In building alongside someone in a neighborhood where you've never been before, it's about building relationship. It's easier to solve human problems when we know one another and work alongside one another. So that's what keeps me coming back. People are interested to learn more and to apply for homeownership at Habitat. It's all on our website, as well as the information about repairs, habitatphiladelphia.org. My last parting thought is there's more than enough. There's enough out there in this world, in our country, and in our city. Yes, that vision is audacious, a city where everyone has a decent place to live, and it is entirely possible.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Take an extra 30% off gift ideas from designers they'll love and 15% off beauty, skincare, and fragrance gift sets when you use your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals like women's holiday dresses, $150 and under. Plus, shop the season's hottest toys from Monster High, Discovery, and more, 10 to 50% off. Download the free Macy's app for more savings at Macy's. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The Gambler, Philly's home for all things sports gambling.
Yeah.
Are we getting Oscar nominations soon? We're gonna. This reminds me of Barbie now. That's all it does.
Probably should, yeah. It's a big part of that movie.
It's
Don't
a great,
ruin it.
Great scene in that.
Don't ruin it for
It's
people.
not. It's not like spoilers.
All right.
Can I give a shout out?
You go right ahead.
So the Eagles do this poster series. I don't know if you've seen this. We'll put a poster out for each game. For this game, it just got posted an hour ago on Eagles Twitter @Eagles. My cousin did one for the 49ers. And she was showing me all the sketches and like workshopping she was doing. She just graduated. What is it? The Philadelphia Arts. She just graduated from there recently. And yeah, she put out the poster and it is amazing.
Yeah, they teamed
And if
up,
you want to check it out, there's so many little details in there that she put.
they teamed up with local artists to do that. Now, last year they teamed up with local musical acts to promote all the games.
Ooh,
This
I like
year
that.
they teamed up. Oh, that's pretty cool. So hollyjansen.com.
It's amazing. If you want to check it out, check out the website. She has shown me a bunch of her art and it's phenomenal.
Dude, Jansen's got a lot of talent.
Except for me.
What happened to you?
I didn't get any of that. I don't get it. I can't sing. I can't dance. I can't draw. I can't do any of it. All I do is shout about dumb football takes into a microphone.
That's
I
it.
can give you the college football playoff if you want. I can vote on the Heisman. But anything other than that, I got nothing.
My guy had an opportunity to win it. That's all I know. And he dropped the ball. I will just say there were some throws that if he made, he could have made life a hell of a lot more difficult for a lot of you Heisman voters, but he didn't play a good game. Penix did not play a good game. I still don't think Jaden Daniels
I
should
love
be
you
it.
called us that you Heisman.
I still don't think
voters.
Jaden Daniels should be the Heisman Trophy winner. I still don't believe
We'll see.
so.
We don't know.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
I still think you have to have some equation, and it's just a way.
I will admit, what a weird year. What an absolutely weird, odd, amazing.
You got
college
one
football
guy
year.
who has thrown a ton of touchdowns, who has an undefeated team, and he had a little bit of a spot in the schedule where he wasn't playing his best, but still, there are 0 losses. And majority of college football people out there would tell you that the Pac-12 is the best conference from top to bottom. He went undefeated, yet he's not going to win the Heisman due to a guy that was 9-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Seem very
3
passionate about
losses.
this. You sound like somebody who has a ticket on Michael.
3 losses. You know, come on, man.
Okay.
Penix is the guy. Give him the Heisman, but I know you people aren't going to give it to him. Let's keep it moving.
We'll see.
Let's talk some
I love that you
NFL.
keep saying that, you people.
So I did bring up the weather just to let you know that it is supposed to be nasty up and down the East Coast corridor. New England 42 weather as far as degrees outside, 18-mile-per-hour winds and rain continuing throughout the course of the game. So that does change things from the standpoint of wagering on it. I still don't think New England scores points. So I'm going to take the Chargers. Chargers are absolutely one of my 1 o'clock plays. And I got a couple other ones that I feel passionate about that we will get into. Just to let you know, this is Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevy. Check them out online at mallchevy.com. Need a new vehicle? Trust me, check out what they have to offer, especially now holiday season, end of the year. The best deals out there on your favorite vehicles. Once again, mallchevy.com. DraftKings Sportsbook, where we're getting the odds from. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about this Dolphins and Commanders game. And again, this is one of those games that will be affected by the weather. Game being played in DC. There's no question in our minds who's going to win this game. It's just whether or not the Dolphins
Washington, right?
can muster up a double-digit victory, which would cover the number. It's at 8.5. I think it was locked at about 9.5 throughout the course of this week. 49.5 is your total in this one. And again, I don't really believe Tua has to do too much. I don't think he will be asked to do too much. I think that's kind of in the back of the mind of Miami's head when they're calling these plays. You know, you can't risk Tua getting hurt because if he does, the drop off is so significant that you're just absolutely cooked. We saw that last year. So if you can go into a game like this and continue your winning ways by your strengths, which is running the football, Mostert out there scoring touchdowns in bunches, why not continue to do it here? I just don't think Tua is the play. Now, I've been talked down on this. The fantasy experts are saying that this is the one game. They're all about it. Me, I want no parts of Tua. I'm all about the Dolphins running game, but other than that,
I think that's the way to go.
I don't think he has to throw the football. And Tyreek Hill is plus $9,000 in DFS. You want Tyreek Hill? I'm not here to tell you you're wrong about that. But you better be creative because $9,000 in DFS, it's just you're building around him.
And football is an incredible sport that will humble you, or it'll show you who players are very quickly. Because we were talking about, or I wasn't, but there was a lot of talk about, hey, Sam Howell's really good. Sam Howell could be a franchise guy. Washington wasn't there a report that Washington was like, Sam Howell's the guy. He's really good. He stinks, especially the last 2 weeks. He has been awful. He's a turnover machine. I get the yards. I think it's more they're really talented on offense, and they also have a good offensive coordinator who I think should be getting looks as head coach. I think he's proven enough to me. But Sam Howell has been playing awful, awful, awful football. So you have to take that into account. Again, good thing is the offensive structure around him is really good. So if he plays somewhat well, they can, I think, score on Miami. But that's, weather permitting, and also just Sam Howell has to play better. And I don't know if he can. But that has to be something that you look into with this one. Washington's offense has been awful, just bad.
Yeah, you're looking at a total of 49.5. The last few games for DC, last 4, they went 20 against Patriots. They went 26 against Seattle. They went 19 against the G-Men and 10 against the Cowboys. So now you're throwing them up against the Dolphins team. But I just don't expect a lot of scoring from DC side. I think this is another easy one, but I'm looking at it from the standpoint of Mostert.
Yeah, and we do have a YouTube comment, and the guy said, always Hill. I do like Tyreek Hill a lot. Weather, obviously, somewhat of an issue, and if that becomes a problem and they can't throw, so be it. But we saw with the Eagles, you can throw the ball downfield. Emmanuel Forbes isn't doing very well, and they just don't have great cornerbacks. So I think that's going to be a big issue for them. This is going to be a game where Washington's secondary probably gets beat very bad by fast burners like Hill and Waddle.
Which has been, the moral of the story so far. Most bet overs and some books that are out there. This is probably the number one. I think I saw somebody put something out a little earlier for the sweat on DraftKings. A lot of money coming in on the over. I'm seeing BetMGM over here. John Ewing does a great job for those guys and girls over there. BetMGM over 49.5. The 3 most bet overs so far today. Dolphins, Commanders 49.5. Birds and 49ers at 48. And then Lions and Saints, which we'll get to in just a little bit here at 47. Most bet unders. John Ewing at BetMGM. Chargers, Patriots 39.5. Colts and Titans.
I wonder why.
2.5. And the Cardinals and Steelers at 41. Yeah, both of those I can get down with. The Colts and Titans, I'm not buying into.
Is it to the point, do you feel bad at all for Mac Jones?
No.
Because I know Mac Jones has a pretty bad reputation around the league for being a dirty player. Or are you just kind of reveling in this?
Why is everybody wearing white shoes up there? What's that all about?
That's the new fashion trend.
White shoes?
Yeah. I don't even know if it's a new fashion trend, but I know a lot of white shoes around. I have white shoes.
Yeah, white shoes got to go into the closet after like October. Like you get in the middle of October, you can't be wearing white shoes.
I was wearing white shoes last night. Now today I don't because
these
it's
classify
raining.
as white shoes? Are these white shoes?
Are they just all? No. They got to be all like plain white.
Yeah. Those all plain white shoes got to go into the closet in the middle of October. Sorry, and I'm extending it for you people out there. Normally it's Labor
I think you're
Day.
being a little weird about that.
No,
I'm
I'm
not gonna lie.
not.
I think you are.
Well, everything's been crazy with everyone wearing Jordans and everything like that. These suits, and you got these girls are out running around in these suits. And next,
Are you complaining?
Jump man up to their neck.
People actually want to be comfortable while they look good. Oh, that's crazy.
And that's a guy and girl thing. Don't take
it. Is no, it's both.
It's both. No,
people want to be comfortable.
No, when I was wearing suits on television for 3 years on Fox 29, I wore nice dress shoes.
I also love the other thing is
dress
no tie.
shoes.
No tie has been a big thing.
Dress shoes. No, you got to wear a tie.
No.
If you're on television, wear a damn tie.
No tie has been a really big thing now. And
I caught heat. I had an extra unbutton, and the next thing you know, people were taking shots at me. But if I'm
you got to unbutton more, Bryce.
If I'm in the studio, you got to rock a tie. Look, Rex knows what he's doing up there. All right, let's keep it moving as far as that game is concerned. Not much to offer. Anything from a player.
I didn't know you were so old-fashioned, by the way.
Well,
you have so many of those old-fashioned.
I just think people are pushing the envelope.
Because you said that when we were in Maniac. You're like, people just don't dress as nice.
No, they don't. They don't.
They just don't do it.
Dressing. Absolutely. And again, this goes both ways. This is guys and girls, especially the young crew these days. They wear them, and I think there's another way of looking at it. I do want to say this: that hey, at least
that people want to be comfortable and it's fine whatever they wear.
It's not comfortable. It's laziness.
It's not laziness.
Yes,
it's being comfortable.
It's lazy.
But yes, being lazy though is comfortable. It's comforting.
Dress up.
No,
sometimes when you leave the house, you got to dress up. You got to look the part.
Up.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. I get it. Then stay home. Stay in your sweatpants. Stay in the hoodie.
You don't got to ask me twice. I'll go
I'm
home
fine
right
with
now.
that. But if you're going to
I love
go
being
out,
home.
dress up. Look the part. Don't look like you just rolled off the couch and like, hey, man, I'm here. No.
I don't even like the button. You can wear, what is it now? You just wear like a plain white like sweater or something underneath, and then you put the suit jacket over top or whatever.
Suit jackets,
Classic.
lipstick
just
on a
put
pig.
Anything over a suit. Just
suit jacket.
Suit jacket
covers
over
everything.
anything is perfect.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, look, that's going above and beyond. But these kids these days,
just putting on a suit jacket?
They wear a t-shirt
Wait.
and these flannels that are like 3 sizes too big with these mom jeans.
I love you have a line
guys
to like how
and
lazy you can
girls
be.
and these white Air Force Ones. It's like, dude, stay home. Just stay home. That's all. Anyways, I'm on my soapbox.
Yeah,
now.
you really are. I love that you have a line of like laziness where you're really lazy if you don't dress up, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, if you just put a suit jacket over anything,
Well,
that's good.
That is next
That's
level.
not. That's
for a
not
guy.
next level.
Yes,
That's,
it is.
That's the laziest thing you can do. To
I
dress
understand,
up nice.
but
that's very lazy.
Trust me, I stared at a suit jacket last night, and I didn't wear it, but I'm like, I should have worn my suit jacket when I was out there. I should have worn it.
I do feel like I hate every other part of the
We gotta
attire
keep
when
it
dressing
moving,
up.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but suit jackets do make you feel like cool, like you feel good in a suit jacket.
Yeah, you're dressing up.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. Cardinals and Steelers. Let's see if let's put lipstick
All right,
on a
on
pig
to
here.
pants.
Cardinals and Steelers, 6.5 point spread, 41's your total. The Steelers got rid of Matt Canada, and then in whatever it was, 4 years, 4 straight seasons, 3 straight seasons, they never hit the 400-yard mark. He goes, Kenny Pickett throws for like 270, 275 last week. Still looked okay. I mean, we're not trying to make Kenny Pickett out to be Joe Montana.
I thought he was your guy.
He's definitely taking a step back.
Oh, or was he just never not that good to begin with?
No.
Or was he just not that good to begin with?
His accuracies are terrible.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, it really is.
It's always been that way.
41's your total in this one, 6.5. I don't know where the points are going to come from because I look at the Steelers. For me, the most dominant side in this game is the Steelers defense. They got after Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals last week. I think they tallied up 5 sacks. TJ Watt shows you why he's the defensive player of the year. I really do. From the fantasy standpoint, I think this is the number 1 defense. It probably is. I have no idea if it is ranked that way or not, but it probably is because of who they're going up against and what they did last week. They are a top 5 defense. I do know that as far as fantasy scoring is concerned. They're 6.5 point favorites. That's a lot of points for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They
to give
can't score
anybody. But the total 41 is my play here. I like the under 41 in this one.
And like in order to cover that, how many points do they have to hold the Cardinals to? 10 points? 7 points?
To cover that.
To cover that.
Yeah.
They just don't. It's 6.5 points for a team that doesn't score touchdowns. They kick field goals and they don't move the ball at all. You're right. They moved the ball very well against Cincinnati. They had 16 points. And Cincinnati's defense isn't spectacular. So things got a little bit better, but you're right. It's the inaccuracies it's being bad in certain situations because of the inaccuracy problems. They're just not good enough. And Kyler Murray can scamper. I don't care on any defense can scamper his way to a few points. They will be able to score. How much? I don't know, but they should be able to get a couple of scores here, and that should be enough to cover this. So I don't know if it's not one of my favorite bets, but to me, you got to look at the Cardinals. 6.5 is too much for a team that can't score. They just can't do it.
Do you think it stays under 41?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
What, 16-17 game? Something like that? 2016 game?
Yeah. Wow,
that's a huge problem. Just Pittsburgh can't score on anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, from the there's nothing grabbing me from the fantasy angle. I would look at Kyler Murray again, just from what we've been able to see, and he puts it on his back, and he's going to go ahead and try and get in the end zone, so you get some of that from the rushing perspective. Inside the red zone, you don't have to worry about, well, James Conner has been good. The one thing from Pittsburgh's side, and I went with Warren today, Warren over Najee Harris. I got Warren in my DFS lineup. Everybody loves Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
he's
Warren's
getting
been good.
Ton of carries over the past few weeks,
And it just sucks because Harris is involved enough to where he still is. He's a touchdown vulture at this point.
Yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. But
Yep.
at least they're going about it the right way, where you see who 1 versus 2 is. So look, moving off for this game, I got nothing else other than the under on that one. Speaking of a low total, let's keep it moving into the slop. And let's talk about this Falcons and Jets game. And this is another easy one for me. This is all day, every day Falcons. They're 2-point favorites. If you want to take them on the money line, go right ahead at -130, right there with you on that one. The total, 33 in this game. 33 total points in this game, which is the lowest one we've seen in the NFL this year. We have not seen anything lower than 35, if I'm not mistaken. So here, this one is 33 at 103. Game being played in MetLife, sloppy field out there. Anything from you in the gambling standpoint? I like the Falcons. Give me the Falcons to win this game.
I do not like the Falcons. That's ugly. I mean, Ritter I can say Ritter's playing better since he's come back after Taylor Heineke got hurt and he got benched. I think Ritter's been good. The turnover problem is still, that's bad. And he turns over the ball at such a high rate. So that's an issue. The one way to give a team offense, no matter if it's the Jets, no matter if it's Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, it doesn't matter. Turnovers give you offense. That is automatic offense almost in a way. And that's the way the Jets beat the Eagles, was turnovers. So that the Jets can win that way. And I think that's too much of an issue for me to want to bet Atlanta. Can't bet the Jets because they don't have any offense, but I think it is going to be a rough, ugly game. And I don't see many props I like, many plays I like. I don't like anything in this game.
Yeah, there's nothing that's grabbing me other than just the Falcons.
Maybe Bijan, because Bijan is he's such a focal point.
He's been
now.
Getting the ball a lot more too as well, which is good.
And damn, he's good when he has the ball. He is phenomenal when he has it in his hands.
Yes, he is.
Receiver, running back out of the backfield, doesn't matter. That guy is awesome.
All right, we got DFS coming up next with Roy Burton. We're going to hit on all things fantasy. You got any questions, any season-long questions, go ahead and get them in there. We got a lot as far as the comments are concerned. Let's see here. Rye Cape checking in. Falcons outdoors in the elements. I'm staying away. Hey, look, I'm not arguing one bit. He said Ritter anytime touchdown. He likes that. We talked a little bit about the Steelers. Rye's checking in. He said running backs are going to have a day on both teams. Harris and Connor, anytime touchdown.
Yep.
Let's cash some tickets. I like that. Your mom checking in. She said hello. Nice work there. We'll come up on the other side. Roy Burton's going to join us to talk some DFS, some fantasy. Any questions, get them in. Of course, we'll apply it to the prop standpoint as well on DraftKings Sportsbook. And in the next hour, we will hit our college football discussion, the Final Four, on why we think Florida State needs to be on the outside looking in. Hopefully you took that plus 260 now on DraftKings Sportsbook for FSU to miss the playoffs. We'll hit on all that in the next hour. Once again, Roy Burton joining us on the other side. This is Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevy.
The game is won in the trenches.
They just don't have the beef up front.
So you better have beef up front.
Georgia wins, if Texas wins, and if Michigan wins, I think you see Florida State on the outside looking in, even if they have that zero next to their name in the loss column, unless they win this game by double-digit points and convincingly. If they can go out and show, all right, we're able to go out there and compete with or blow out a Louisville team that has been pretty good all year. Because I just can't see the committee looking at each other in the room and thinking, all right, Florida State, 17.5-point dog probably to Georgia. Is that really going to be the product that gives us a good game? Because I think I heard Herb Street say it earlier. It's not the doing the right thing or the most deserving team. It's your job in the committee is to put the best 4 teams in the country in the playoff.
All Gambler podcasts are available at foxphlgambler.com.
With Robinhood Gold, you can make your money do the most. Make your money do 5% APY. That's big. At 8 times the national average savings rate, that's huge. Start earning 5% APY with FDIC insurance up to $2.25 million at partner banks for only $5 a month. Sign up today at Robinhood.com/getgold. As of 9/21/23 via bank rate. Interest is earned on idle cash swept from your brokerage account into program banks. Cash sweep program is offered through Robinhood Financial LLC. Terms apply. Rate may change. Robinhood is not a bank.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance abuse crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Vibrant Emotional Health.
Whether it's an ugly sweater party, office gift exchange, or holiday dinner at Nana's, Ritz Crackers is always there, bringing friends and family together to celebrate. So grab a box or two of Ritz Crackers for your next holiday gathering and make this season one to remember with Ritz, a taste of welcome.
I'm Sam Farber, radio play-by-play broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets and host of the official podcast of Hornets basketball, the Hornets Hivecast. From daily game previews and reviews to exclusive one-on-one interviews with everyone from Hornets head coach Steve Clifford to all-star guard LaMelo Ball, there is no better place to get all of the daily buzz around the Charlotte Hornets. Check us out. There's a new episode of the Hornets Hivecast available right now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search iHeart Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
I have lots of fragrance lovers on my list, and Ulta Beauty has all I need to add joy to their holiday season. Shop your favorite fragrances from YSL, Carolina Herrera, Valentino, and Ariana Grande's new exclusive Cloud Pink scent. Plus, with a fragrance purchase of $70 or more, get a plush robe or throw, valued at $70 while supplies last. Shop the gifts that bring joy to everyone on your list this holiday season, especially you. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
This is three-time Pro Bowler LeVar Arrington. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Macy's Backstage.
It's a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game today when the Eagles host the San Francisco 49ers. The Phillies announced they're getting rid of their all-red jerseys for the 2024 season to make way for their new City Connect jerseys. And in just the span of 2 days, a third team in the top 5 of the men's college basketball rankings ends up falling. This time, it's the Marquette Golden Eagles losing to Wisconsin. I'm JD Haffren.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Every 26 seconds, a teen drops out of school. Our nation is facing a severe educational crisis where 1 out of 5 children are being left behind due to the way their minds process information. Bright youth are being told they're learning disabled and placed in special education classes where they don't belong. However, at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Philadelphia, no child is left behind as we help to build the self-confidence and academic competency needed for lifelong success. The children of Philadelphia need your help. For more information, visit bgcphila.org.
The Rolling Stones, the greatest rock and roll band in the world, famous for their police-escorted motorcades that whisk them in and out of their live shows. Now, iHeartRadio gives you a chance to be part of the entourage on the Stones' upcoming tour. You and 3 friends travel via motorcade to the VIP entrance, check out Soundcheck, and see the Rolling Stones live from some of the best seats in the house. Another iHeartRadio once-in-a-lifetime experience. Enter to win by listening to this station on the free iHeartRadio app.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. The clock is ticking. The time is now to find those last-second winners. This is Countdown to Payout, powered by Mall Chevy.
Hey, we're handing things off at noon to our friends and family over there at the Green Legion. And those guys will be live from Xfinity Live, coming your way from noon to 1, right there in the middle of it all. Doesn't get much bigger than today's game between the 49ers and the Eagles. I don't know why.
It can get bigger.
It's not really hit me. I think it might have to be the weather just a little bit.
You hate rainy days.
Maybe I'm not heading down there. Maybe that has something to do with it. But, the juice. I need a little bit more juice for this game. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. Let's bring in Roy Burton. All things daily fantasy, all things fantasy for us here on the station. Once again, this is Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevy. You can go ahead and check Roy out over at the BS line on socials, gametimedecision.net. And a good morning, Roy. How we doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Doing all right, man. Talk to me about the buzz for this Eagles and 49ers game. Am I missing something? Are you fired up? Are you feeling it? Does this feel like an NFC rematch? Where are you, Roy? Where are you?
I think we're mildly interested in this game that we've been looking forward to, for the last basically, what is it? Not quite 10 months ever since the NFC title game. I know Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk have been looking forward to this. So no, it's going to be a good one. It's just one of those things where, again, we have to wait yet again till 4:25 for the game of the week, because it's just one of those things. Like I really love the fact that the Eagles are on national TV a lot, but waiting until 4:25 for these games it's a pain.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm normally a guy that says, I want to be in that standalone spot, whether it's 4:25 or Monday Night Football. I miss the 1 o'clocks. Give me a 1 o'clock kick, man. Enough of this. Let's kick
I usually do like games at 1 o'clock, but that's the thing. I love 1 o'clock games, and it's better to enjoy all of it instead of just focusing on the Eagles.
Yeah.
I can focus more on the Eagles when it's at like 4 or,
That's true.
game.
All right, Roy, let's talk about this
That's a good
game.
point.
Let's talk about this game from let's get your vibe from the sports gambling side, and then we'll dip our toes into the fantasy and then keep it from there. 3-point spread, 49ers are favored. Big issue as far as the injury is concerned to Fletcher Cox. It's not looking like he's going to go. Dallas Goedert downgraded. Lane Johnson looking like he will be able to go today. So that's a huge deal for the Eagles. But as far as the game script, it has on DraftKings Sportsbook, the Eagles are catching 3 at home. We went over the history and why that's such a big deal as far as that's concerned. Where do you stand on this one today, Roy?
Right. Yeah. I don't love the 3, so I probably wouldn't bet the number on this game. I actually like the bet I like most on this game is probably just the total. Like, I think both of these teams are going to score. They're going to score quite a bit. So I'd go over with the total on this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points. Obviously, you guys know how horrible the Eagles' pass defense can be at times. So I think those San Francisco, running wide receivers are going to probably hit most of their their totals as well. So, so I like those bets. And again, the Eagles are going to score points as well. The Eagles haven't been, strangers to scoring points. So this is going to be a high scoring game. If I had to pick a side, I'll pick the Eagles, because I think the Eagles probably split these next 2 weeks. I think this is the one they win, just because the Niners have been talking so much. So I think the Eagles win this game. I just don't like that number specifically, because this is just a weird game. I just don't like there's just so much emotion in this game that it's hard to feel super confident about one side or the other.
No, I'm with you on that one. It's kind of where I'm at as well. Now, let's break it down from the fantasy side. Is there a player or two that you like, since we're talking about a lot of points being scored in this one? Is this an automatic Jalen Hurts? Is this Christian McCaffrey? I mean, those guys seem like the real easy ones, especially from the anytime touchdown perspective.
Yeah, I like actually I love DFS wise and fantasy wise. Like, I love Brock Purdy in this one. I love Brandon Ayuk in this game. His over under receiving yards is 62.5 on DraftKings. I think this is super low. The Eagles have allowed receivers to get that number, I think 10 or 11 times this year. He's a number one target option on that offense. So I think Brandon Ayuk, I'd put him in my fantasy lineups. I'd put Brock Purdy in my lineups. Purdy's obviously not going to give you a lot with his legs, but again, he's going to throw for at least 250, I would think. It looks like the weather's going to be pretty decent. So I think 250 and a couple touchdowns for Brock Purdy is almost automatic. And he's at a good number DFS-wise. I think it was 6,100. So love him, love Ayuk. I'm kind of split on whether I like Samuel or Kittle more. I'd probably go Samuel, but either way, like any of those receivers on San Fran I love. And I think this is probably another Devontae Smith game on the Eagles side. So this is a really good game. If you have any of these guys in your year-long fantasy leagues, make sure you put them in your lineups, because this is going to be I think this is definitely going to go over that 47 number.
Why Devontae over AJ? Because I look at AJ and I think this is more of an AJ game, just because of the frame. And again, this is me just throwing something up against the wall. I don't know if this is concrete or not, but I just think that the bigger body receiver is going to be asked to do more here today. But Devontae's been having some really big games, more so than AJ. Is that a Dallas Goedert thing in your mind? Why you taking Devontae over AJ today if I made you choose between those two?
Yeah, I think it's more just because of value and because of the Goddard thing. I haven't heard the latest with Goddard. I know he's doubtful. Like, he's still doubtful.
It's not looking like he's going to play. Yeah, it's not looking like he's going to play. Let's just say he's not going to play here.
Yeah, I think this is, for me, Devontae is more of Goddard's out. This is more of a Devontae game, just because, with Goddard out, like, he's had, a couple of fantastic games with Goddard out, and this team is just lacking that other receiver. So it's going to be like AJ and Devontae are going to get work. And so I think, DFS wise anyway, value wise, like what you're going to, spend to roster Devontae Smith is significantly less than what you would for AJ Brown. And I think they'll give you, at least similar output. So yeah, just for the number that you would have to spend to get Devontae in your roster, I think he's a better play. But they're both, look, again, this game's going to go over that number. So I think they're both really good plays. I just think just for the number, I think Devontae Smith is better value.
All right. And then last one from this game, as far as DFS and me, Brock Purdy. Look, Jalen Hurts is asked, he's a lot as far as DFS is concerned as with the number to salary.
Right.
Brock Purdy's a little bit cheaper. Sure. Any shot that you would suggest for folks to be taking Brock Purdy, since we're going to see some scoring here?
Yeah, no, like I mentioned before, he's $6,100.
Okay.
He's super cheap. I think he's probably like 10th through 12th as far as salary wise, quarterback wise.
Gotcha.
He's really good. He's a really good quarterback, and the Eagles have given up 17 touchdowns to wide receivers this year. Brock Purdy, completes 70% of his passes. I think he leads the league in passer rating. Like, he's a good quarterback, and this Eagles, defense has shown, you saw what Josh Allen did last week. I mean, you saw what good quarterbacks do. You saw what Sam Howell did to this team twice. So give me Brock Purdy. Let me smash Brock Purdy in fantasy lineups. He's going to be a really good play today.
Is that what's going to hold the Eagles back from winning it all this year? Is that secondary? Is that what we're? Man, that's a tough.
It's either that secondary or the stubbornness and not running the ball in the first half. I mean, I think what's going to happen. I think I don't. Well, I'm not going to say what's going to happen. I think what could happen. Let me phrase it like that: is that we're going to find ourselves in a January game. It's going to be cold, and you're going to have to run the ball in the first half. And is Brian Johnson going to be stubborn and not do it? In that cold January game at home, and have a team get up on you by 10 points, and then you kind of working yourself out of a hole again. That might be what keeps the team back. But yeah, the secondary absolutely needs to play a lot better before the Eagles are locks for any Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, moving on to some other games, especially for fantasy, 49.5 Washington, Miami. That's a high total for a Washington, a game that involves Washington. They haven't been scoring a lot, but is this maybe a time to, as the stock is low, to go in on some Washington players and also, I'm assuming, some Miami players as well?
Yeah, I think more so, obviously, the Miami guys. Like, this is I know Sean Brady doesn't think so, but this is a really good Tua game for sure. The Washington Redskins, the Washington Commanders, they let everybody throw all over them. They've allowed 270 plus passing yards 7 times this year. Tua's completing 71% of his passes the last couple of weeks. He's thrown a TD pass in 20 straight games. So this is a strong Tua game. This is a strong Tyreek Hill game, Jalen Waddle game. Washington-wise, the only person I really feel confident in, Howell's fine. I mean, he'll probably throw for a bunch of yards, but I guess the player I probably feel the best about is Terry McLaurin. Although Curtis Samuel, he gets a bunch of targets, so I'm not sure what his number is, but I might throw a flyer in on Curtis Samuel. But this is not a Brian Robinson game. I think Washington's just going to be down too much, and you're going to have to throw the ball a lot in the second half. So I would avoid Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, but there are some plays for other guys.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Texans and Broncos game, because this is another one that I think some people could see some scoring in from the Texans' perspective. Sure. Broncos really haven't been too much on the offensive side of the ball. Tank Dell, CJ Stroud, normal cast of characters from Houston. What about on the Denver side? Or do you think that this game will be a little bit more low scoring? Where are you at in this game? Let's ask that.
No, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. Okay. Game's in Houston, so it's in a dome, climate controlled. Houston played pretty well at home. CJ Stroud, second best in terms of yards, total yards in the NFL this year. He's averaging almost 28 fantasy points a game at home, so I'm not concerned about them. From the Denver side, absolutely loved Courtland Sutton today. He's wide receiver 1. His game has a high total. He's going to get work. So Courtland Sutton, absolutely. I think his number is actually $5,400 DFS-wise. So I'm not sure why it's that low. But Courtland Sutton today, I think, is a really, really good play. The other receivers, I'm not a huge Jerry Jeudy fan, so I probably wouldn't touch those other receivers Denver-wise. But Houston-wise, no Dalton Schultz today. So I think we're going to get a little bit more work for the other guys. So I think Tank Dell has a good game. Noah Brown's back, and he's supposed to be healthy and ready to go. He's 4,500 DFS-wise. So I might slide him into a lineup. And the backup tight end in Houston is Brevin Jordan. He's $2,500. I don't know if he's going to do much, but if you're just trying to look for a guy you can slot in there who might get, a goofy touchdown here or there, and you can use the rest of that money to roster a an Ayuk and McCaffrey or whatever. Brevin Jordan at 2,500 for Houston might be a sneaky good play today.
Yeah, total that kind of surprised me a little bit was Detroit and New Orleans. A lot of that, though, just Detroit's good on offense, but defense really bad. New Orleans can't score, so that total to me, 47.5, it's a lot of Detroit. It's a high total, but do you like anything? Can you zero in on any fantasy players and things like that for this game? Because it feels like an odd one despite the higher total.
Yeah, that total doesn't make any sense to me, and I thought it would go down more when we found out that both Thomas and Shaheed are out for the Saints. So, 47.5 is super high. So I would definitely play the under. But in terms of those guys being out, I mean, I think this is a smash play for Olave, and I heard Brace mention it earlier this week. I think this is a smash play for Alvin Kamara. There's literally no one else on that team who's going to catch passes, except for those two guys and maybe a Taysom Hill, gadget play here or there. So Kamara and Olave, I mean, they're going to need a ton of work. I mean, the Lions, like you said, Jansen, the Lions scored a bunch of points. So an Olave Kamara game. So give me both of those guys. I think Olave's over under receiving yards is 69.5. So I'll take that all day. And whatever Kamara's is, at least I'll take Kamara's receptions as well. Whatever that reception number is for Kamara, play that as well, because I think those two guys, I mean, those guys are going to get a ton of looks today.
Excellent. All right. So from that game, I want to get on over to one more that I'm looking at from the standpoint of whether or not we'll get some points, because of course, when we're talking about fantasy, that's where we're at. I think there's a lot of sloppy games on this board. Don't get me wrong, but the game that, as I was driving and I heard two different shows talking about this offense, which I think is very surprising to a lot of people, the Indianapolis Colts. Moss, it seems like he's an automatic play for a lot of people, and Pittman too as well. I understand the Moss because, of course, with Jonathan Taylor being hurt, he's now the bell cow back. Gardner Minshew is the quarterback here, right? We're recommending like Michael Pittman Jr. to be a top-notch wide receiver with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback. Did I miss something? Did they pick somebody else up? Or is this how you're looking at it, Roy, as well?
Michael Pittman, he's really like, he gets work regardless of who that quarterback is. I mean, like he's the kind of guy who's, I guess he's not quarterback independent, but like if you look at his target numbers, throughout the year, whether it's been Richardson or Minshew or any of those guys, like Pittman's gotten a lot of work basically every single week. So I like Pittman in this game. I actually like Josh Downs in this game. Josh Downs had a bunch of he had a bunch of work last week, and I think was it the first time these two teams met. I think he went for like 6 and 97. He's really kind of been a feast or famine kind of guy, but he does have experience against this Tennessee Titans team. So I like Josh Downs in this game as well. But don't be scared of Pittman. Don't be scared of Josh Downs. I wouldn't necessarily be scared of Gardner Minshew, but Gardner Minshew is he's probably going to give a couple up. So just keep that in mind if you want to roster Gardner Minshew, that there might be a couple INTs going the other way.
Got a question coming in from comments over here. Cape checking in. He said, should I start Devontae or Garrett Wilson today?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would probably start Devontae. Again, that's just the script of the game is probably, although Garrett Wilson's and I won't say automatic, but Garrett Wilson's, he is, again, the guy who's going to get a lot of that work in New York. And it's supposed to be fairly decent weather-wise, so I think he'll be okay. But I have a feeling this is going to be a really shootout type of game in Philly. So I'll go with Devontae. You can't really, I mean, to be honest, if he has another option to like start both of those guys and not start somebody else, I'd probably go that way. But I'll go Devontae if I had to pick between the two.
All right, and then one more from me here. Let's talk about the Rams. Busted big on the scene last week with a big-time dub over the Cardinals, where Higbee had multiple touchdowns. I think Williams went off. Stafford looked like, Matthew Stafford from the Super Bowl season. Does that continue today against the Cleveland Browns? Now, I understand how good the Cleveland Browns defense is, but follow me on this.
Right.
Offensively, they're not going to do much. So I think the possessions will be there for the Rams. And therefore, I'm all about Stafford. I'm all about the Rams players on the offensive side of the ball. Is that the correct way of looking at it? Are you looking at it like that? What's your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, if you're well, I don't like it. To be honest with you, I just don't like it. I just don't like Cleveland's defense is fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Yeah,
but and their offense is horrible. And so if there's going to be a lot of times, a lot of possessions for the Rams, I just don't see the Rams, throwing it or having to throw it all over the field for 4 quarters. So, I mean, I'm kind of basically, it's a long way of saying I'm kind of lukewarm on everybody. Like, I think Stafford is fine. I think it's a fine matchup for him because he'll get enough work where he's fine. And I think Kyron Williams would normally have a bad game, but again, they should be up late in the game, so he's going to get a lot of work. So I think he'll be fine. I don't like anybody, to be honest with them. I don't like anybody fantasy-wise in that game. I would stay away from it because there's just nothing. There's nothing leading me to say, oh, the Rams are going to throw for 300 yards or run for 150 yards. And Cleveland obviously isn't doing anything offensively in that game. So I just would stay away from it altogether.
And what's going on with Puka? Just selfishly, he's on our team and hasn't really been doing all that much, if I'm not mistaken. Just the fact that there's a lot of players to choose from on that offense right now. What's your read on Puka and moving forward too?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like now that Kyron Williams is back, that I think there's just less of a necessity to have to throw the ball. So yeah, I think he's just kind of caught up in the mix with Kupp, and Atwell had a good game. Had a decent game the other day, and you have Kyron Williams, and I mean there's just a bunch of guys on that offense who can do things. So he's fine. I mean, he's going to have games where he's going to be not what we saw at the beginning of the year. He'll have those games where he has 6 for 70 yards and maybe a touchdown. But I think he'll have more of the games that we saw, right when Cooper Kupp came back, where like he'd have like 5 or 6 catches for like 40 yards and maybe not score. I think that's more the Puka that you're going to see. He's probably going forward. He's probably wide receiver 3 fantasy wise, maybe with low end wide receiver 2 upside. But yeah, you can't. The guy who was scoring 20, 25 fantasy points a week, that guy's pretty much done.
All right, last one here: Murray, Goff, or Purdy?
Ooh.
I like Purdy, man. I like Purdy. Although I will say this, I think Goff has a really good game today, but I like Purdy. It's show me the quarterback, show me the decent quarterback that's had a bad game against this Eagles defense. I mean, it just hasn't happened. So yeah, give me Purdy.
Jeez.
He's not going to give you stuff with his legs, but again, I think 250 and 2 touchdowns is probably his floor today, and it's probably he might even throw another touchdown in. I mean, you're going to see a ton of wheel routes, to CMC. You're going to see a bunch of work for Ayuk and Samuel. Yeah, I'll take Purdy. I'll take Purdy today.
Also, we got to get your answer for this. I mean, I can't believe Brace didn't ask it.
Tell me.
Your top 4 college football team.
Oh, well,
who's in the play?
I was going to end with that, dude.
Oh, okay. Dude. Yeah, you took too long to get to it. I need the answer.
We're talking fantasy. He's a fantasy guy. He's not our college football guy.
The top 4. I don't care. Everybody needs an answer to this. I'm about to ask my mom. I know. Who does she have in the top 4? I mean, I need an answer from everyone.
All right.
Including Roy.
Roy?
Okay. So top four teams, fantasy football. I'm sorry, college football. Fantasy football in mind, fantasy football in mind. I can't help it. All right. So Michigan and Washington, obviously.
Yep.
Why is it obvious? Because
it's obvious.
Because they're undefeated?
Yeah, because they're good.
Obvious.
Because they're undefeated?
No, because they're really good.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're really good. They're clearly 2 of the best 4.
Absolutely. 100%.
So those 2 are the obvious. Those 2 are the quote unquote obvious guys. I mean, I can't not say Texas, so I'll go Texas. I can't believe on any level that Florida State is one of the 4 best teams in football. So I have to give it to Alabama. So it's going to be Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama. Those will be my 4.
Yeah. That's got to be it. I'm right there with you. It sucks, but Florida State, just trust your eyes the last 2 weeks. I get it. It's got to mean something. But here's the deal. This is their cop-out. It's the final year. It's the final year. That's all you got to say. It's like, you know what?
That's the cop-out. We burned you guys, but you know what? We won't burn you guys in the future. That's the cop-out.
Yeah, the cop-out is, look, we are here. We got the 4 best teams. We got 2 of the best games. Sure, Florida State's going to complain, and there's going to be a lot of boo-hooing for like, oh, I thought these games meant something. But guess what? When those games kick off, that will be the top 4. That will be the best college football playoff that we've ever had with 4 teams. The best one, hands down. Look at those brands, the names, the way that they're playing the game. They're all peaking right now. Absolutely. Alabama. Well, look, for me, it's even worse for Georgia than Florida State, because Georgia was 4 points away from being the overall number 1 seed. 4 points. That's it. 4 points.
Business. Take care of business.
Understood. I'm not here making the argument, but I would rather hear crying from Georgia over Florida State. Florida State, you're not good enough to compete with these guys. You're just not.
They're not.
You're not. Look at the box score. Look at the yards. Look at the yards gained against Florida all season long last week, and then barely Florida State went for 220. What'd they do last night against Louisville? I honestly watched very little.
It was
of that
awful.
Game.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was a bad
they
game.
Didn't do anything.
Well, it was on the same time during Michigan, so I was kind of focusing on that bad game. But anyways. Well, Roy, us three, we're all in the same boat here. We're all in agreement.
Real quick, let me ask you a question, though. Do you think any of these teams are really, really good? I mean, I think these teams are fine, but put these teams in the group. Washington in that group, in the guys teams who made the playoffs last year. How many of those teams do they beat? I mean, they beat TCU, obviously, but
yeah.
Anybody else? I mean, these teams aren't that good.
I just think.
To be honest.
I think, yeah. Well, look, if Washington hits, I think they could score a ton of points. They left a lot of points on the board in that game on Friday.
I think they're truly like 7 teams, you could say. 7 to 8 teams at a national championship.
But then, I think Michigan has the toughness. I think Michigan has they're the best team to me. Yeah, we could run the football down your throats.
They have a annoying coach. They really have all the recipes.
I think they'll be able to bully Bama a little bit on the offensive line. I really
think
do.
So?
I really do, man. Dude, that is a tough team. Those running backs are the real deal. You know that. Those running backs they're just incredible. And I think it all starts up front as always, because you can't win without beef up front. Roy Burton, always great to get you on, sir. Good luck on all your plays. We'll catch up later this week. Hey, man, and fantastic job. Roy joined us for all 3, even more than that, because we did the one which wasn't included, the watch party. So we did 4 together. We're not done. We got a long way to go as far as NFL, but shout out to you. You brought so much to our team with those watch parties from the fantasy and, of course, everything else, just being a dope dude, Roy. We appreciate you being on those watch parties and being at all those places that we work. Hersey and Miller, fantastic job, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Go Birds.
There he is, Roy Burton
Birds.
at the BS line and GameTimeDecision.net. Check it in. A lot of comments, a lot of people, joking when I say this, a lot of hate coming in. A lot of hate. Florida State's got to be in, man. Why?
Florida State doesn't have to be in.
So Florida State's got to be in. Let's just play devil's advocate. Florida State has to be in because they're a Power 5 team who did everything that was asked of them. They won every game, including the championship game, which, from my experience, the past few years, meant a ton to the committee. Championship games meant a ton. And it should, because it's about how you're playing. I'm not trying to discount week 2, right? But it's something has to be said about right here, right now. You just go back in time with like Super Bowl champions, like the Giants, the one year that they won it. They were atrocious through 7 weeks, and then they found their stride. If I'm not mistaken, the Packers, when Aaron Rodgers won his 1 Super Bowl. I'm going back here, but it's like there clearly there has to be something that comes into the equation of, hey man, it's about December, it's about November, it's about October. Like these games get or as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, the games get ramped up, pressure's even more there, and these teams are rising to the occasion. Now, Alabama got lucky last week against Auburn. I understand that, but they won the game.
And they beat the best team in the country. At the time, at least. And Georgia might still be one of the best teams in the country.
They are.
Right? Like they're out of it because they lost, and I get that. They didn't win the SEC championship. I don't think they've earned the right to be in that spot in the college football playoff. But still, Georgia, to me, how isn't Georgia the best team in the country? They still are to me. And Alabama just happened to beat them, which obviously,
So if they're the best team in the country, shouldn't they be in?
No, because you lose the SEC championship. You have to, conference championships matter. Wins against, teams like Georgia matter, and Alabama has that. But yeah, I think the conference championship, that almost disqualifies you in a way. I know teams have gotten in without winning the conference championship, but when everybody else has won it and their resume is just as good, that's tough. You can't really get in that situation. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be one Power 5 conference, at least for now, until everything changes. But there's always going to be one Power 5 conference team left out. It's just so happened that it's been the Pac-12 most of the time. And it's been, I think, a couple of conferences a few times. But it's a shame for Florida State, but that's just the way it is. And there's no good answer to this because Florida State, not every team plays the same teams. You know what I mean? Like Alabama and Georgia, we can compare them because they played in the SEC. But we're talking about the Power 5 conference. If you want to put 12 teams in each conference, we're talking about close to 50-something teams, 60-something teams. It's no easy way to determine who's the best one, except for what we're doing. I think Florida State, without their starting quarterback, is not good enough to be in the top 4. And I think that has to be taken into account. There's they were undefeated. They should be rewarded for that. No undefeated season is the same, especially in college football. In the NFL, it's different. There's 32 teams. It's really easy to determine, and they all play each other for the most part. So you get a good idea of who's who. In college football, it is extremely difficult to do that. And I just think with that being the case, we have to use our eyes and we have to use what Alabama just did, and they should be in the playoff over Florida State. I think it is that simple.
Yeah, you're just looking at a team that threw 219 total yards against Louisville.
That's not good. That's not good enough.
Come on, man.
That's not good enough.
And the previous week against Florida, they knew style points were going to matter. And you had to have more. You had to do more on the road in the swamp, and you had to do more last night with the light shining bright in the ACC championship. And I don't care if it was raining. None of that mattered. All I know is they came up small. They ended up winning. They had an unbelievable season, and Jordan Travis was a beast. And it's unfortunate that he got hurt. But here we are. They're on their third string quarterback. I'm okay with Florida State missing. I am. And a lot has to do with...
I'm more than okay with it. I think it's the right thing to do.
It sucks. But,
it does. It does for Florida State.
Next year, they go to 12, and these things work themselves out. All right? But for right now, you give us Michigan 1, Washington 2, 3 Texas, 4 Alabama, and man, let's get it on. That's going to be a hell of a college football playoff. That's going to be a great college football playoff. Texas balled. Texas is a team that's played much better in the last few weeks, in my eyes. And they only have the one loss, and they lost a tough game against their rival in the shootout. They lost that game against Oklahoma. That's a tough loss. I just think Texas got to be in there, man. They rolled last night. Of course, Oklahoma State, they were 15-point favorites. I thought we'd see a little bit of a game. It didn't matter. Texas was just all over them. And then the Arch get his first snaps last night. Was that his first snaps in a Texas uniform? Thought that was
he played previously.
He's played before too.
Yeah, he has.
Well, I was thinking this,
and actually threw some passes.
I was thinking this. That might come into play too, because at the end of the day, entertainment has to be into this. We're talking about buku amounts of money. Entertainment's got to come into play, and I'm sorry that hey, guess what, kids? Here you go. Bad Santa coming your way. You want the NIL money? Well, you know what comes with that? Entertainment. All right. These television, they have to put on the best games, and that's the 4 best teams. That's the 2 best games. Florida State. Sorry, man. You're on the outside looking in. Enjoy the what will they be in? The Peach Bowl? Is the Peach Bowl still a thing? I don't even know.
I think, Peach Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you look.
Is the Peach Bowl still around?
Dude, you'll have Georgia and Ohio State. See, the thing is, they don't care. None of these guys will care.
Yeah, it's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay, did you?
Yeah, I knew.
Right now, the projected Peach Bowl game is Penn State and Liberty.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. I don't know.
The problem is none of these kids are going to care about those games. We already had. There's a Georgia kid that transferred.
We'll see, because SMU might be ranked higher. It'll be close.
There was a kid from Georgia that transferred like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, what the hell?
Where's Arch Manning going? Quinn Ewers is coming back, so I imagine Manning's going to go somewhere.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Why would he stay? He wants to play. That's what happens. Joe Burrow didn't play at Ohio State, Ohio State, and he moved on to LSU. It happens.
Arts doesn't seem like a kid that's going to be like, I need to be in the NFL.
Arts
now.
seems like a kid, like every single one of these kids that wants to play now.
I don't think he transfers.
Okay, we'll see.
I don't know, man, because it seems like maybe transferring, like DJU's transferring. Some of these other quarterbacks.
Well, I get why DJU's transferring.
Why?
Because Oregon State's about to be in no man's land.
Oh, understood. Yeah. That comes into it. Well,
but you're right. There's many other.
I look at transferring, and I would say, wow, that's a big deal. I'm getting the vibe from players. It's not. It's literally, hey, I got a new apartment. I'm getting money. It's on to the next. And cool. School is very secondary. And I'm fine with that because
it always has been.
At the end, no, it hasn't.
It always has been.
No, it hasn't.
It's been for a while now. Ever since college football made money, which has been for a while now, it's never been about school.
You can't say that from the player's perspective.
I can 100. There are some players, I'm sure, that want the education.
Absolutely, but there's a lot of players.
The majority, overwhelming majority. Come on.
How many of these players are getting drafted?
Doesn't matter. They want to play football. That's it. It's all about football, bro.
I don't know, man. That seems very love and respect shallow. To sit there and say none of these players.
It makes sense.
How many players in Division
It's one of the biggest
I
sports in the country.
Yeah, but
of course you want to play that. Of course that's priority.
I understand, but you're talking about a thin line between being drafted and actually making money in the NFL versus I'm going to have to do something in my life.
But you would be surprised. Most college football players that are starting or at least playing has some type of role. Is most of them are thinking NFL. Even if they're not capable of making it.
I thought about the NFL too.
Did you really?
No.
Well, you didn't play major Division I college football.
Yeah, but even if you do, the odds are stacked against you.
That's fine, but you always play those players. That's all they.
I think there's a lot of players out there. I think that.
Like the guys on the bench that aren't doing anything,
getting that degree, setting themselves up for what's next.
Like, do you think the Australian guys coming over to punt are thinking about college education?
Where are you?
These 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds?
Bringing that up for? I'm talking about
but because that's just they're coming over to play football. That's the mindset. See, education is never
Yeah. All right,
let's be real.
Let's keep it moving. We got some college football. We'll get into.
Cardell Jones hated education.
Oh, see, this is the one you're bringing up. Cardell Jones. I get it. There's plenty of other guys that I could go yin and yang with you. Who was the kid from Florida State who had the scholarship role? Right? Was it Myron Roll or Byron Roll?
Yeah. He was a doctor, wasn't he? Didn't he? Yeah.
Myron Roll. There you go.
Myron, yeah.
You gonna say he didn't care?
Okay. He's one.
Well, you just gave me one. I gave you one. He was in the 6th round of the draft. This guy knew he'd be picked. Next thing you know, he's a physician with.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, he's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. He's a neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
I could do that.
Late for a break. Keeping it going here. This is Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevy. Coming up, talking about a crew that definitely cared about education down at Xfinity Live. We got Green Legion Radio. No Quimby today. Mike Diaz and Chris Sack leading the charge.
Okay.
Yes. Let's go. Irving Fryer with the drip. Go down, see the boys and girls once again at Xfinity Live. And that is 1100 Social right outside right there across the street from the link. You catch us on the corner and they'll be live from noon to 1. So don't go anywhere. More Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevrolet. Back after this.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's The Gambler.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
We're back with a report on a big new craze that is sweeping the nation.
Boy bands are back in style?
No, the Win Big Sweepstakes with Marathon Arco rewards.
Tell me more.
Each time you fill up or buy items, you enter to win prizes like a new SUV, free gas for a year, and more.
Those prizes are as good as the return of the boy bands.
Except they won't leave you for a solo career. Marathon Arco rewards Win Big Sweepstakes. Sign up today on the Marathon Arco rewards app online or at any participating station. Marathon, driven together. Terms and conditions apply.
If you have a dog, you might be worried about your good boy being bad for your carpet. But if you had Life-Proof with Pet-Proof technology carpet, you wouldn't have to worry, even if you had a whole pack of dogs. Because Life-Proof with Pet-Proof technology delivers permanent built-in stain and soil protection that never washes or wears off. Quiet, sit, good dogs. Life-Proof with Pet-Proof technology available only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy. But more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Boombox? Check. Trenchcoat? Check. 1989 Say Anything soundtrack was decent enough. We could focus on John Cusack's Lloyd Dobler rap or the obvious choice Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes.
In your eyes, the light, the heat, I'm complete. Your eyes, see the doorway.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's The Gambler.
We got snow in Lambeau.
Snow! Let's go!
That's what I'm talking about. Countdown to Payout, presented by Mall Chevy.
Oh, we're going to get a snow game today? Oh,
Snow game?
A snow game today.
Yeah, flurries. No, that's tonight. Isn't that tonight?
That's tonight, yeah. It's the Sunday night game.
Yeah, meaning we got to hit on that because we haven't talked about it all. And we've been, jabbing around all things college football, having some fun.
We are jabbing right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to get bogged.
You're trying to spar. I don't.
No,
you're coming at me.
You're trying to make it seem
I'm not
like
trying to make anything. I
kids
know.
all believe that they can go and be drafted and be professional.
All kids that play in major Division I college football are thinking about football. They're there for football. Their entire decision that there are some.
Can you give me a pie as far as, hey, next level I'm being drafted?
Like when they're thinking of a school, do you think they're thinking of education? Or do you thinking of, hey, I like this coach and I like the fit here? They're thinking football. All their entire mindset is 100% all the time football. It's just what college athletics is now.
Well, then I would be.
I'm sorry if that bursts anyone's bubble and people get so mad because it's college and they should be there for education.
I don't think you're telling me 100%. I don't think you're telling me 80%.
I think it's overwhelming. 80%.
See, I just think the math is really easy there for anybody to understand. And when you're coming up in high school, guidance counselors, coach, it's their job to show you that graph that you might have this dream, but I'm here to pop your bubble there, little Johnny.
But in a certain way, most athletes are dreamers. Why would anyone dream of playing in the NFL? Nobody makes it. That's what those kids do.
Here's the best part. You can do both. You can dream all you want, but you should go to a place because it does have a good program. Tell me a
football player has that mindset. One of the craziest mindsets of any person, any athlete, football players, they're not going to be 100%. I'm all in on this because football is priority.
Nobody's saying you're not all in. I'm saying that when you make that decision,
that's what decision's going to be made. It's all a football decision. Everything is football.
Well, again, I'm not. I would just be a little bit more on the side,
especially
of
with NIL
programming. As far as what's my next step
with
in life.
NIL money now. Now it's about money. Now it's about making money.
Well,
with
yeah, I
football.
agree with that. Now that's taking a whole nother
Yes.
world of this, and it should be. Now you got an opportunity to make unbelievable money. And again, if you can't make it to the next level, this is your shot to go ahead and make $100,000 or $500,000 to go out there and play some college ball, which they do deserve. And I'm glad it's opened it up. I just wish that there was a little bit more proactivity to getting to some rules and regulations. Unfortunately, they sat in their hands, and now it's just a wild west. All right, enough of that.
So it's going to be Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, here's what I'll tell you. With our show, with our station, it's always put your money where your mouth is. You want to go ahead and run your yap about this team having a shot. Oh, they're a 30-point underdog. I like them. Okay, cool. Put your money where your mouth is. That's how we always handle it, right? On this station, on this show, me personally, on socials. I just challenged somebody 2 weeks ago to put. Oh, it was Chase Daniel.
Do you think there
Chase
should
Daniel.
be?
I said, will you put your own money up on I forget what the wager was. It was like, put your own money. Oh, it was the MVP for Dak. Like, you can go ahead and bet Dak all you want.
Right. Yeah.
Put your money up. That's it.
Which I don't think it's a bad bet.
No, and it was more so along.
But
with,
I get what you mean.
He the thing I told him put his money up was Dallas making a big time an extended playoff run. I said, well, put your money up.
Yes.
So here you can bet Florida State to miss the playoffs at plus 260. I did.
And that's the right way to look at it. I know you talked about Alabama, yes, but you're right. If Alabama's in, it's between those three. It's Alabama and it's Florida State.
Wow, we got significant movement. Significant. There it is. It's over. It's
Alabama's getting in.
Florida State on the no is plus 115.
That's significant.
Down from plus 260 about an hour ago.
They heard something.
Yeah, Florida State's not getting in.
Do you think odds makers should be in that room, or at least one?
They're not.
Do you think they should be involved? That wasn't the question. Not the question of are they in there, but should they be involved?
I think we need.
Like, should they have that conversation like you are? Which I think it's a valid one. I think it's a point I would like brought up. What would be the point spread if Florida State was taking on Georgia, or if Florida State was Florida State was taking on Michigan?
We're running a spot right now for beef up front, and that was Coyle's take. He's like, dude, the committee is not putting a Florida State team in where they're going to be 17-point underdogs. He said to Georgia, they would still be 17-point underdogs to Michigan.
Yes.
There you go. It's simple. There you go. It's
But
over.
do you think that should be in discussion when talking about that, or at least have the knowledge of it? Because I feel like that is information I would like to have.
Yeah, I would never be opposed to that. You know where I stand when it comes to that stuff. I think odds makers should be involved.
But they won't, because it's betting and there's still that like moral kind of thing.
Well,
but still, I mean, gambling rules the world.
I could never imagine to have 300. Yeah, look, I'd be up front. I'd put $2 on Florida State.
Plus 115 is crazy.
I put $2 on Alabama at plus 115. And then somebody tweeted me and said, dude, you're looking at it the wrong way. You got to go Florida State on the no.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm a complete idiot. And I wiped the cold out of my eyes and then placed the wager on Florida State at plus 250. So I got $3. I have $3. Never. I didn't have $3 wagered yesterday. Yeah, close to it. On Michigan alone. Thanks. And lost. So here we are now. And like literally without a game happening, I could be down 3 units before 1 o'clock here. But I believe in just what we said all along, and we'll give you the bullet points. Bottom line is it's about what these teams are doing right here, right now. And unfortunately, Florida State is without their leader in Jordan Travis, and that team cannot move the football, cannot score points. Therefore, they do not belong in the Final Four. They are not one of the 4 best teams. Are they one of the more deserving teams? Of course. But if your job is to get the 4
that's a
best
different
teams,
conversation. Yeah,
they're not one of them.
That's why there's a committee. That's why they select teams. They don't just go based off of what you won that conference you're in. That's not there is a committee for a reason. It's not for it to be, well, you're the most deserving you're in, because we can find that out in so many other ways than doing a committee. The committee's there for a reason, because it's the 4 best teams. They want the 4 best teams in college football that year, and that's why they get to select it.
All right. Anything else you want to add on college?
No, I can't wait.
All right, that's coming our way at noon.
There's going to be such a meltdown.
We'll hand things off to Green Legion, and maybe they'll jab at it a little bit later. But
So the AP poll, though, does have Florida State over Alabama.
Nobody cares.
But nobody cares.
The AP poll doesn't mean anything. There's a poll that comes out every Tuesday. They do a show on ESPN. That's all that matters. That's it. All right, let's keep it moving. And yeah, coaches, AP, and what I don't.
Coaches one is the best one.
Yeah. Let's see here. The next game up on the card that we really haven't hit just yet. Oh, you know what? We got major movement in this one. I'm curious to know why. Carolina and Tampa Bay. This game was holding steady all throughout the course of the week at 5.5. Now down to 3. Tampa Bay a 3-point favorite. Is there somebody missing from this lineup? What's going on there? Why all of a sudden are we believing Carolina can go to Tampa Bay and score points? I know Tampa Bay hasn't scored points. They've lost a lot of games in the last few weeks.
And their defense is awful.
But why would that number come down? What the hell would make you want to put a wager on Carolina at all?
This is I will be completely upfront with you, Bryce. This is the first I've ever thought about that game this week.
Wow.
I have not, just completely blanked over. It didn't exist in my mind. It's an awful game. I want zero to do with it. The only thing I would note, I guess, Chris Godwin has an injury, so maybe if he's out, but that's not going to move 2.5 points you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what moved it. I don't want to care to find out what moved it. I don't want really much to do with this game other than, Mike Evans is he's Baker Mayfield's guy. I mean, he's number one, has been all season. Baker Mayfield forces it to Mike Evans. As long as Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans is going to get targets. So that's the only thing I can think of is just Mike Evans props. Other than that, what an awful game. Awful.
Yeah. Well, that's
and Tampa Bay still has a chance in the NFC South, which is brutal.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is. But I
just
think the
bad.
Falcons go up there and win on the road at MetLife today. So therefore that one, well, again, still plenty of football to be played. All right, next game up. We jabbed on it with Roy. Do you disagree with anything he said? Because I actually like the Rams to score points. I think the Rams put it on the Browns. 3.5-point favorites. That's a 430 kick. 40 is your total in that one. I like the Rams to bounce back. They won last week. Keep it going. Keep the momentum going, and beat the Browns here. Anything on that one for you?
Well, it's just Dorian Thompson-Robinson just has not. He's a rookie, and he probably shouldn't be in this spot. And it's just throwing him in there because they needed some upside at quarterback, and I think he's given them some. They were able to win a game with him, but yeah, I just don't. And Cleveland's defense is great, but how many times can you just be in the worst positions possible, the worst field position possible, constantly on the field over and over again because of 3 and outs and your offense ineffective? That wears the defense out, and essentially that's what Denver did. They were worn out, and Cleveland didn't have a chance. So I would say you're right with the Rams. I think that's the right side to be looking at, even with 3.5 in the hook. It doesn't matter because again, I just don't know where Cleveland finds any offense. That's a tough one to bet for me though, because the Rams haven't been great. They've been fine. We all know, Matthew Stafford's good. Sean McVay's such a great offensive mind, and they're going to find offense somewhere, but it's sometimes not the best, especially in the red zone. So if that's going to be your problem against a really good defense, I don't want that problem.
All right, last one. Let's get to it tonight. Kansas City and Green Bay, 6-point spread, 43 is your total. Andy Reid got a start in Green Bay as an offensive coordinator for the Packers. This is the first time for Patrick Mahomes getting a start at Lambeau Field. Kansas City 6-point favorite.
First time he's been in Lambeau?
First time he's starting
in Lambeau. Okay.
So here's where I'm at with this one. I think last week showed you everything you need to know about the Kansas City Chiefs. They're still the same old Chiefs. This team can start sluggish and then still cover that big number as they did on the road.
They can always find offense somehow. It might take a while. It might take longer than usual because of the receivers not being good, but you're right. It's just they'll find it some way.
So I look at the total, though, and that's where I come up with the Green Bay Packers. I like the Packers still being able to score here. That total's at 43. Weather's going to come into play, so I'll have to check into that a little bit more. Maybe look at the team total, but I do think we see some scoring in this game. I do think it's Watson. I do think that you're going to be able to stick with the running backs from Green Bay, which, look, they haven't really all changed too much, but it's Dillon. Like Watson is the guy as far as receivers are concerned for Green Bay. Flip a coin on Kansas City besides Kelsey. Kelsey is just the one guy that continues to get catches week after week after week. But other than that, it's a change. Rice, Watson, Moore. I like points. Give me the over 43 in that one. That's my
I like
favorite
points as well. No, I just like seeing points, but I'm not taking the points. I'm actually laying the points with Kansas City. I think this is another game where they play very well. We're starting to see numbers with them under 7. A game like this, even on the road, a game like this is usually 7.5, 8 for Kansas City. We're seeing them kind of getting bumped down a few pegs, and obviously Green Bay's playing well. But Green Bay played well, and look, Jordan Love, I do like the strides he's taking, so that I don't want this to be Jordan Love hate. But there were 2 bad defenses that they played, the Chargers and Detroit. And look, Jordan Love isn't going to play at that extremely high level he's been at for the last 2 weeks. Chiefs defense is good, Brace. Like I don't want that to be forgotten about the Chiefs.
Yep.
Their defense is awesome. And I think they're going to do a very good job, especially getting pressure on Jordan Love, stopping that run game. I think the Chiefs have a very good game today, and I do like them laying the points.
All right, we're going to hand things off down to Xfinity Live for Green Legion.
Did we talk about Tennessee,
Radio.
Indianapolis at all? I do like Tennessee today.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we hit on that.
Did we?
Yeah,
You did with Roy, but we didn't with us.
You like Tennessee?
I like Tennessee. That was the only other bet. I have Houston, Tennessee, Kansas City. Houston went up to 3.5 for like a second, but they're back down to 3.
All right. Well, good luck to everybody out there on all your plays. Once again, Mall Chevrolet, mallchevy.com for all things, whether you need to buy a new vehicle, leasing, you want to trade in. Nobody's going to give you the best value, the best number, better than the folks over at Mall Chevy. Be sure to hit up Dante Vinicola and his team. Once again, check them out online. All information at mallchevy.com. Coming up next, Green Legion Radio live from Xfinity Live, getting you ready for all things Birds and Niners. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back tomorrow. Brand new daily ticket at 3 p.m. Everybody, good luck on your plays. Peace.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's the Gambler.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Nothing is everything.
With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.